Hello, and welcome to the 2020 presentation of the Christmas Village. Today's theme is capitalism and religion. Alright, so you're going to notice in this little display we have here, the center of everything is the church. Makes sense. We're talking about Western civilization here, baby. Church is the center of all civilization, at least in the West, when you're Christian. So, true to form for that, we have the church in the middle. But, yeah, it's a nice looking church, you might say. Very nice looking church. But what's all this shit up top? Great question. Glad you asked that. This is capitalism. Commerce. The gilded, golden scales of, I just repeated myself, of money and power and wealth. Why is capital on the top shelf? Well, you see, it's quite simple. It's because the church cows to capitalism. So, naturally, the church must be on the second shelf, for capital rules us all, the church as well. The wealthy are sacred, the poor are condemned, at least in this day and age. And so, we have capital as king. Going to the second level now, why is the church with Fagin and Scrooge? Well, you see, dear viewer, these are all corrupt individuals. Old Scrooge, he loves his money because he thinks it gives him power. Muppets taught us that. The same can be said of Fagin, who uses orphans for nefarious deeds, because that's what they did back then. The same can also be said of the church. I'm kind of losing my train of thought here, if I'm being perfectly honest. The wine is not helping. But you see, the church also loves its money because it thinks it gives it power. And unfortunately, the sad reality is it does. Hence why the church bows to capital. Also, of note, Fagin uses orphans. Scrooge is an old man. The church should be helping these people out, and yet it lives in the gutter with them. Not the gutterest of gutters. We'll get to that later. But in a gutter. And hence why these three are on the same level. Now we get to the bottom. We have Fezziwig's Warehouse, a place of festivity. We have Kingsford's Brewhouse, where you drink. Fun time. Everyone loves it. It's great. Some little cottage looks cozy. I love it. And then Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim's house, and others too that they didn't put the name on the doors of because, I don't know, ageism and sexism, who's to say? It's Victorian England, who knows? But these are all jolly places, and yet the church frowns upon them. For these are poor people, and very unsightly, and prone to vice, and that just can't be allowed to stand. Hence why they are on the lowest rung, because capital and religion views them as the gutterest of gutters, the most disdainful of all society. And unfortunately, the common man who enjoys a good pint after a long day at the office is left out to dry by everyone else, because that is quite simply the society we live in. And that is a great travesty, but here we are. Welcome to capitalism. Now, one more thing. A mill a lamplighter. It's a simpler life. This is the outskirts of town right here. This lamp marks the way for the errant travelers. He's doing his thing, living his life. Seems pretty happy, if I do say so myself. Probably because he's outside of that shithole of a horrible capitalist society that we have over there. And then this mill is just the simple, honest life of labor on the outskirts. What every true person needs. Honest, hard work, being paid jack shit, because society does not value them. But, hey, maybe they're happy. I hope so. This is the outskirts of town. It's a simpler life. It's happier. And this is the capitalist hellhole. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Merry Christmas to all of you and a Happy New Year.